Oh, welcome. I think we're here live. Yes, we are. My name is Mike Crawford. Doobie, can you turn up those headphones a little more? It's the Young Jurks show. Perfect. I can hear myself now. I am Mike Crawford. I'm the host of the Young Jurks here. And I'm excited to announce that I will be broadcasting live from the 5th Annual New England Cannabis Convention in Boston, Massachusetts, March 22nd through 24th. Disrupt Boston is the official media partner of Any Can Boston, providing wall-to-wall coverage of the show, and the Young Jurks will be the network's feature broadcast of the weekend. I can't wait. Again, Friday, March 22nd through the 24th. We'll be there. I'll be there. We have a guest in studio as well. He'll be there, definitely. He's in charge of, one of the people in charge. I'm not sure what his title is, but we'll say he's in charge of anycan.com. Welcome to the show, Marc Shepard.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Great to be here.
And what is your title at Anycan?
I made myself president.
Okay. You are the president of Anycan. Yeah. And Anycan, for people that don't know, it's
the New England Cannabis Network is sort of the official name of the company, with the idea that we create networking events for the New England cannabis industry.
And your event is coming up again. It's March 22nd through the 24th. It's kicking off on a Friday.
Yeah, first time that we've expanded into 3 days. We just had enough feedback from the vendors that they were looking to have a part of the show be, a lot more focused on strictly B2B. So we made Friday all the programming focused on B2B. Obviously, since it's a work day, you figure you'll have a little bit more filtered attendance, and we think it's a great addition to the show.
Awesome. And also you're having this, we've been talking about it because we got nominated for it. It's the New England
Cannabis Community Awards.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I'd get that wrong.
Of course.
Say it again. New England Cannabis
Community Awards.
Yeah. And that's on Friday night as well, right?
Yeah, and it was it's something we talked about for a long time, and as you probably know, Jeff Lawrence, my partner, and I both come from the alt weekly world, where that sort of like best of Boston or best of Portland is sort of always something that you do to kind of just highlight and put a spotlight on the industries. So we just posted a blank ballot on our site back in October. We listed 24 categories and just said, write in, who do you think should be nominated for these awards? And after 2 months, we just tallied up all the totals, and now we've been listing the top 5 to 10 nominees in each category, and watching the votes come in. And I mean, they're pouring in. It's been crazy how many people have been voting on this, and it's an important piece for me to mention that these aren't NECAN awards. Like we're not picking who the nominees are, and in the end we're not picking who the winners are, and really the spirit of it isn't that sort of like, oh, these people are the best, those people don't belong on the ballot. Really the idea in the end is we've got 125 to 150 people and businesses up on that page getting credit for the work they've done, and we'll all come together and kind of celebrate all the progress and success that's been done over the last year.
And you may not love all of them, which is fine. I mean, I'm not loving all of them.
I'm sure you're not.
I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm not mad about it. I'm glad because a lot of good people are up there, a lot of good businesses, and who am I to judge anyways? I'm not the king shit to decide on this stuff anymore.
But come on, Mike, you do like to judge a little bit.
Yeah, but not as much. I'm trying to stay away from that now. I'm realizing I'm just better to, I can judge. You know who I'm good at judging? Guys like this guy, Mayor Walsh.
Absolutely.
I don't need to be patrolling our community as much as my thing lately.
I hear you.
It gets me in trouble. But anyways, we're the Young Jurks. I'm really excited too about the awards. Even we're nominated for 2 awards. Whether we win or not, we feel like we already won just because people voted for us, and people are telling us that they're like stuffing the ballot. I've seen other friends saying that too. Like people are voting multiple times for people they like.
Well, and just so people know, the mechanism we do have in place is when a vote comes in, it does ping the email address to make sure that it's real, and only one vote is tallied per email address. And even with that, I mean, we are getting thousands of votes per categories, which is awesome.
It is, and it's going to be really exciting. This is again from the Heinz Convention Center.
Yeah, it'll be the award show's at 7:00. The exhibit hall is going to close at 5 on Friday. We figure people will go out, get something to eat, relax, change, and then we're going to do the award ceremony. Is going to be a ticketed event at 7:00 at the Heinz, 7 to 9. It's a $30 ticket, and 100% of the net proceeds are going to be donated to NEVA and Veterans Alternative Health.
Who are our friends, Veterans Alternative Healing.
Healing.
Stephen Mendili, awesome guy. We love him. That's awesome. And, you have a huge weekend. The website, again, is NECAN, which is, like New England, NECAN.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's a full list of programming. You have events, conventions, trade shows, whatever we're calling these things, all across the country now. But this is your big one in Boston coming up, right?
Yeah, I mean, this one literally is bigger than the other 7 we do combined. It's crazy. And
Why do you think that is?
Well, because I think it's mostly because the first one we did, Mike Crawford handled the programming and got it off such a great start. People probably don't know that, but Mike actually put together the programming for our first event and really kind of helped us model what we were doing moving forward, like really reaching out, making it a Massachusetts industry and community event, because anybody who's in the industry
I don't
knows.
think I can take full credit, because you guys are... You and Jeff have been doing this stuff, like in the media work and publishing and sales and dealing with local, like for a lot longer than I have. I mean, I've been doing it for a while. I kind of consider myself the old jerk now,
right?
But you guys are there even longer, so I think it's that emphasis on the local, I think, right?
Absolutely. By the time we even got into the space, even though it's been a while, there were national conventions more than you could shake a stick at, and there's a show every weekend or every week across the country, but they were all sort of what I would call non-location specific. There was an NCIA show at the Heinz last week, the National Cannabis Industry Association. Great show, but you had 150 vendors. There's probably only 20 or 30 Massachusetts companies there, and then most of the attendees are flying in from around the country. It's a worthwhile event, but if you're someone new trying to get into the New England industry, you're not meeting the people from the industry. You're just meeting people all around the country from the industry. Different type of event, and whatever state we're in, all of our programming and all of our focus is that state's. How do you get in the industry? What's the medical program? How do you navigate it? So it's a very state-to-state process for us.
And what do you have planned for Boston? I've been looking at some of the programming and some of the speakers, but tell us about what you have planned for Boston in March 22nd through 24th.
For this year, the things that are sort of unique to our event, MassCan Normal sets up their full education village for 3 days, so people can go in and learn some history, get tons of experts sitting there and answering questions across any kind of, whether it's growing, legality, medical, and that's there as a free service all day. We have 4 programming tracks, 2 of them focused on business, all aspects of the cannabis business. Then we have a 3rd track that's focused on growing and cultivation and technology. And then the 4th track, which we offer free with just general admission, just focus on medical marijuana education. Again, focus mainly on the Massachusetts program and how to navigate it, and obviously the uses of medical marijuana and how to use it. And we have the award show on Friday is new. Kind of excited that Dope Magazine is coming out on Friday night as well and doing their first ever golden ticket party on the East Coast. Sort of an invite-only affair that people figure out a way to get invited to, but that's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be pretty exhausted.
Ticket, like, is this like Willy Wonka or something?
I think that's sort of the theme. It's sort of that idea of like you can't just show up and you can't buy a ticket. You get a golden ticket from Dope Magazine, and it's kind of fun. I've been to their parties at conventions out west. I go to a lot of conventions.
It's got to really live up to it though. For me, I mean, they're going to have to really show me something I haven't seen before.
I will say the one in Vegas that I went to was a golden ticket party.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a spectacle and an affair to remember.
Excellent. So they're bringing that to Boston. We've been talking about, like, we mentioned him earlier, Marty Walsh, but you're holding an event in Boston, and kind of were the first one to be a cannabis convention in Boston, I believe. Really?
Yeah, we were the first one. Sure.
Now everyone else is kind of coming in the same venue you're in, which is the Heinz Convention Center. But it seems like it might be a good size for some of those other conventions that come in. But for you guys, I'm guessing you're at capacity right now.
We'll sell out the floor this year. We moved all the programming out of the exhibit halls. We've got 2 halls full. We'll have probably around 350 exhibitors when it's done. And, the Heinz is a popular venue, and we've looked at, can we get a third hall? We probably can't. So next year we might start looking for another venue, but in Boston there really aren't any options that will accept our show.
Like the big convention center that we all paid for, the taxpayers, they won't take you?
They will not take us.
What is it called? The what is that thing called?
There's the Seaport.
Yeah, that one.
And then there's the convention center itself.
Yeah.
Both of those venues.
Neither one?
Neither will take us. They must have too many beer festivals planned.
Are you kidding me?
They
have too much business there in that boondoggle.
Well, no, they just won't take us.
Yeah.
They're quite specific that they don't want a cannabis show that does not have any cannabis at it is not acceptable.
And that's another issue. I mean, do you wish or even foresee a place where you'd be able to actually have cannabis at your cannabis convention?
It's a huge question. It's a great question. We're experimenting with that in Maine. Our main show, the venue we're at, the rules are a lot looser. Vendors are allowed to display plants. They're able to do demos like trimming, pressing, and it's legal for them to gift. Within Maine laws. We're experimenting with that. There's really 2 types of cannabis events, and if you look at like MJ Biz that does the big conference in Vegas, 1,200 exhibitors, 35,000 attendees. They have no interest in having any cannabis there. It's a business event, and it's all business. And then you have events like the Harvest Cup, which is a great event I went to last December, the Mass Growers put on, where they're pushing more and more. They had, an indoor facility, an outdoor place where you could consume. It's very consumer friendly. Both events kind of work. But I do think you have to choose. Are you a business event or are you more of a consumption event?
Yeah.
And I hear the input from people all the time, like, it's a business event, but I'm a patient. I want to be able to medicate. I want to be able to do that. And I totally sympathize with that. But as I've looked at events, once you cross the line and it's consumption friendly, you're going to see a high level of dissatisfaction from the exhibitors who just want to do business. So you kind of at a certain point with every event you have to make a choice whether you're going to cross that line or not. I'd say in Boston right now, I'd love to be able to display plants and have demos, but I don't think if we had the option, I don't think we would have gifting, and I don't think we would have a consumption area.
Maybe in 10 years, 20 years, because things are changing so quickly.
Yeah, it's really just going to be honest, for us, it'll be up to the exhibitors,
right?
Because in the end, the attendees, it's great, but we make the price for attendees. If people want to come and walk our floor, it's $30.
Sure.
At the NCIA show last week,
it was a lot more.
I paid $400 to walk the floor.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just to
and
look
not
at the
go
exhibitors.
to any education.
Couldn't hear a single speaker. Just walk the floor.
That's general admission. That's what I like. When I go to a concert, it should be a $10, $20 ticket.
It's $200. So for me, we fund our business through the exhibitors. If the exhibitors tell us they want that consumption and that thing, we'll do it. But we really have to go by them. In the end, they're the ones that drive the bus of what we're doing.
That's the other thing I like about this event, AnyCan, is what you just said, is the pricing, especially for people who just want to attend and check it out. And that's why I think it's really kind of built up this community and people, not just the business folks that you mentioned, but also consumers and medical patients. They want to come out because it's affordable.
Right. And it's obviously it's not the best thing for us. And, we know we could raise the price. Some people wouldn't come, but we'd net more money. There's no doubt we could triple our price and we'd net more money. Same thing with the booths. 70% of our people wouldn't blink if we said $5,000 for a booth, but we would lose 100 small businesses in Massachusetts who would be like, we can't afford
the
ones
that. You want to help the most.
And that's, like I said, I'm not trying to make us sound better than anybody else, but when we entered the field, that was the niche we felt that was missing. The big shows are already represented. If they're helping people, that's great, but there wasn't a show for that entry-level person and for the entry-level attendee who wants to learn about cannabis, but I don't have $400 and a business day to take off to go.
I think that's awesome. unfortunately, our phone lines aren't working today. We're going to take some calls, but we are going to have some tickets to give away, I understand.
Absolutely.
Tell us about these passes we're going to have to give away.
We'll be giving away pairs of full access passes, which get you into the exhibit hall and 300 exhibitors for all 3 days, Friday through Sunday, and then 3 days of programming. There's 4 programming tracks with about 6 hours of programming each day. We're retailing these right now for $95 a piece, so a pair of them is $190 value.
Cool. And because we can't do it by phone call, I think we're going to do it by like instant feedback on our Facebook page. If you have any good questions, any good comments, if you want the tickets, if you want to tell us why you want the tickets, baby, you want to talk us into it.
Why do you deserve these tickets?
Yeah, because this might even be an ongoing thing. Like we have plenty of weeks to be giving away these tickets, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So again, we're with Marc Shepard of anycan.com. So if you want to go, tell us a good reason on our. Yeah, we see you all watching. A bunch of you watching. I'm looking on the phone here. Why do you want to go on us to Anycan for free? $100 tickets, basically. I want to give out the phone number so you can tell us. But again, our phones are down today. Deal with it. Technology, things happen. We're a live show. But you can leave a comment and tell us why you should get to go to Anycan. You also have some T-shirts over here. What's up with the T-shirts?
Yeah, we're having some fun with our T-shirts this year. We're kind of going with some takeoffs of some famous brands. They're mostly for giveaways because we'll get sued if we're selling them.
Sued.
But we're we like the Dunkin' Donuts logo. We made New England runs on Nican, and up in Maine we're going to play on some Maine brands. In Rhode Island we'll probably play with Dell's or some coffee, some coffee milk brands. So we're just going to have some fun with that kind of stuff. For us, like we kind of make it concert T-shirt style, but they're really just giveaways. It's not really a part of, trying to sell them or anything.
Awesome.
But they're fun.
Yeah, that is fun. We were looking at, we brought his name up a couple times, Mayor Walsh. And there's a story that I wrote in Dig Boston. Have you seen this?
I have. Yeah, I followed Dig Boston quite often.
Yeah, because you're from Dig Boston, right?
Yep. Originally the Phoenix, but then I was at Dig Boston for 2 years. Yeah.
And the title of it is "Vomit Good, Chronic Bad." Boston politicians may love sports parades even more than they hate weed, and it's really about. It's unfortunate because as a follow-up to this story, it even gets worse than this story. And it's really about how there's a double standard where the Patriots parade was really kind of out of control in a lot of respects, both with the tea overload, having it on a Tuesday morning, drunk people, and so many people. It was, when you have that large volume, I don't care if it's the Pope. Some people are going to get out of control when it's that many people and you just push them, you know what I mean? It's something about large crowds.
Well, and just the atmosphere that what it is. New England's had 12 of these in the last 12 years. For anyone to say they plan this event and they don't know, like you don't know as a fact that thousands and thousands of people, including underage people, are going to be shit-faced
drinking in the street at 10 a.m. in the morning.
You know it. And hey,
which is, we understand.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Let's have it on a weekend.
But that's going to happen, and you approve that event.
And you approve that, but then you give the Boston Freedom Rally trouble year after year after year, and now they're going to basically, we talked about this, they had hearings for the Boston Freedom Rally after what happened last year, which was, there was some things that weren't perfect about this last year's Freedom Rally. I'm not denying that at all. But MassCan pledged to fix it. They pay for porta potties. They pay for insurance. They pay for park rangers. They pay for all this crap they pay for that the Patriots don't pay for.
Right.
And
they can afford to pay for it.
Yeah, and MassCan has no money, and they're going to clamp down on the Freedom Rally now and probably add more costs to the Freedom Rally, but they're only going to let them have one day now.
Right. And it's like just using our event as an example, where if that parade drove by the Heinz, there would be people 10 rows deep, hammering beer in the public. No one would be getting arrested. No one would be getting bothered. We're doing a business convention in the same place in March. If there were 30 or 40 people out on the street peacefully smoking pot and then going back in, the police are under orders to arrest those people or at least cite them. Probably not arrest them.
Move along.
Get along. Hey, you can't do that in public. If you guys want to chug a six-pack, then that's fine. But come on, don't do this.
It's out of control. It's just unreal, too. I love the picture they took for Dig Boston. It's Gronk with a beer getting poured down his throat.
that probably a teenager threw to him.
Probably.
I mean, if I was there when I was a teenager, I'd have thrown him one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't a teen drunk. I was.
It is just say like I want those parades to happen, but I want the same rules to be applied to cannabis. That's all.
I'm not against having a parade. I just think number one, they should consider having them on a Saturday, like the Freedom Rally is on a weekend, where there's less traffic, where people aren't trying to get to work on a system that doesn't work on a weekday as it is.
Right.
I mean, the T system is underfunded. Our roads are underfunded. Everything's underfunded now. I'm looking for comments. I don't know. Sometimes we miss them later. Sometimes they come in and we don't quite see them live. I don't know if we see any good comments right now. But if you do have a comment, if you want these tickets, you let us know. Again, we're the Young Jurks. We're in Disrupt Boston from Down the Road Beer Company. My name's Mike Crawford. I have a guest here, Marc Shepard from Any Can. It's a New England Cannabis. Say it again.
New England Cannabis Network is the name of the company.
I want to make sure I say it right. New England Cannabis Networking, because it did change. It used to be New England Cannabis
Conventions. And then, I don't know if you remember, but there was that unfortunate incident with another company whose name was NECC, the doctor who killed a bunch of people. Yeah. So we didn't like the NECC.
Yeah. Especially when it's drug-related, too.
And it was in New England, and there were people dying from...
It's pharma.
Yep.
It was a different kind of drug, not cannabis.
Yeah.
It was mold and drugs, and people died. They got injections in the back. We're the Young Jurks. I keep wanting to give out the phone number, but don't call us today, all right? We'll get our phone number straightened up very soon. But you can leave an instant feedback on our Facebook page, especially if you want tickets to AnyCan, anycan.com. We're only going to do this today while we're live, so I don't want to hear about it later when you all listen to it, later tonight. I want the tickets. Nope. Too late. You had to do it live. That's the rule we're going to have today.
I think it's a good rule.
Yeah. Because that's what a lot of people wait. Because it's Saturday. They got other things to do. No. This is on my time. You got to go by my rules.
That's right. So they'll know for next time.
Yeah.
If they miss this one.
Because there'll be other chances. We'll be giving some tickets away for a while. Take a sip of water. I also want to mention today we have a second segment coming up with Calvin Feliciano. Troll J Simpson, as he calls himself. He's from Activist Hour, the show that comes after us. He's bringing in Boston City Councilor Kim Janey, who's got a lot going on in the cannabis space. She's changing the way things are going to be done in Boston, and we're going to talk to her in the second segment today. You know about this, Kim Janey, and some of the...
I don't.
Okay. It's they're looking at Boston's been kind of slow and dragging their feet on recreational, and now they're talking about changing it to make sure that it's not just big business that gets it.
Oh, right. I did see this. So they're trying to even get into no-interest loans. And
correct.
Okay.
And that's also going on the state level as well. So we'll be talking to her in the second segment. If you have any questions for her, let us know as well. Again, my name is Mike Crawford. I'm not even sure how we're doing on time. I think we're wicked good on time. We got plenty of time. We're we started basically on time today. Is there anything that you really want to make sure that we don't kind of miss about the convention?
Sure. I mean, the one thing, just sort of circling back maybe to the idea of those community awards that we're doing, where I just want to always kind of stress that we're not looking to judge or rank people. We're more just trying to have an award show to kind of celebrate. And that's sort of the same idea with our programming. We were talking earlier about looking at that list and saying, I don't really love everybody on that list. And it's been an interesting thing for us. Again, we talked about, both Jeff and I coming from journalism, and you're a journalist, and you learn very early on that there is no such thing as impartial journalism unless you're a zombie. You have a point of view, and it's going to come to bear when you do it. And it's been an interesting transition for Jeff and I, because it's very tempting to be a journalist when you do this, and you realize, boy, do you have to draw a black and white line and remember
you could make the wrong decision so many times, right?
Yeah, and also really we're not a voice, we're a stage. And the stage can't decide who's going to be on the stage or not. As soon as you start excluding people. You're not a stage anymore, and we're not an advocacy. And sometimes, I'll be frank, in the last 4 years, sometimes it means holding your nose and putting someone on the stage who personally you don't really.
Is there a line
with.
though? I think there's a line. Sometimes.
There's always a line.
Right.
We're not putting Hitler on the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to do that. But the best example where we first got tested was 2016 in Maine, where same as Mass, rec was on the ballot for November. Our convention was in October. So by default, the convention started being seen almost as a campaign event to promote passing of rec in Maine. There were voter drive people there. Everybody's like, this is a great example. We're going to do this professional event to show people why it needs to be. And then right on the eve of the event, like maybe a couple weeks early, we found out that the biggest caregiver trade group in Maine, which is the Medical Marijuana Caregivers of Maine, and great group, they do a terrific show. They finally made their decision. They looked at the bill and they decided they were against it because they felt that it didn't have protections for the medical program, and they were worried about what would happen. So there we are. We had them featured in 3 or 4 seminars. They were sponsors of our event. And the immediate reaction from a lot of people was like, well, you got to shut them down and get them out of here. They're going to get up on the stage and say, vote no. And that's when it really hit us. We're like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We actually have to have them on the stage. And we say, our job is to give them a voice,
right.
Give you a voice. You guys have to air your sides, listen to each other. You're not going to magically agree, but we have to give everybody a chance to speak.
That's right.
And it got contentious, it got raucous, and we had to referee a little bit. But we just said, listen, you've got to respect others' opinions, you've got to listen, but in the end, we have to let everybody up there because we're not, we're the paper the voices are printed on. We can't say no, you can't print. So it's been interesting, and it's probably tougher for Jeff, who owned the dig and kind of was in charge of the edit. I came more from the operations side, so I'm like, yeah, let everybody talk, whatever. But that's been an interesting point for us, and I think, I shouldn't say I hate to bash. Sometimes I like to bash, but that was something that really struck me at the NCIA show a few weeks ago at the Heinz. Remarkably, magically, I would say, right after if you're familiar with the CEO of MedMen got hit with a lawsuit.
Bad press.
Suddenly, all of a sudden,
bad language.
The programming for that event had been published for 2 months. Suddenly, right after that lawsuit broke, the CEO of MedMen, Adam Berman, I think it is, was suddenly a keynote speaker. I looked up very quickly on the website. Oh, they're a supporting member, which means highest paying member of NCIA. They weren't on the speaker thing, and then I went and I snuck into the keynote speech. They literally put a mic in his hand and let him plead his case. He didn't talk about the cannabis industry. He basically just threw mud at and hammered down the accusations for a 20-minute keynote speech, which. Again, wow. I don't know the inside story, but very obvious. A phone call went from MedMen to NCI and said, we need to get up on that stage. We need press. Wow. And they handed over keynote speech to him.
So I'm guessing you're not a big fan of NCIA.
I thought that was pretty transparent.
Well, isn't that who they are, though? They represent business, right? Is that what?
Yes, and that doesn't necessarily, that shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, right. Because the cannabis industry does need representation. But when the guy who's suing him is in the cannabis industry. That's too,
true.
And he felt he was harassed. He felt he was misused. If you wanted to have the both of them up there, or if you wanted to let him, force him to take questions and answer them, that's one thing. They gave him an infomercial because
he pays a lot of money.
Because he pays a lot of money
that's
to be a member of the industry.
I don't know why.
So if we're going to do conventions and we're going to do this, you have to. It's a black and white line. You're either it's an even playing field or it's not. And once you cross it, where's the credibility of the rest of the programming? Because now you're telling me it can be bought.
That's right. This is all interesting stuff because we sometimes we grapple with this stuff too. People get mad at us on who we have on or don't have on the show, and it can get weird. People can get weird on it. But I hear both sides. It's that the part about Maine too that's very interesting because I can see both sides. I think one side went too far, but I could see why one side say, you should get them off, and why you would come back and say, no, actually, we really should. We should have a. Right. And you did the right thing. I mean, I think in that case, that's what I would have done on this show. I would have had a debate. Hopefully. Yeah. I would have said, you know what, I'm kind of leaning this one way, and I think these guys gone too far, but let's have a debate today, and I'll be the moderator. I mean, that's right. Kind of what we do a lot. That's what we're going to do coming forward in some of the campaigns we've been featuring, too, on the show. So we love having debates.
Absolutely. And if you're not going to at least acknowledge that the other side might have some points and listen to them, then whatever. Just close your eyes and scream. You can do that. But a lot of times you'll find that there is common ground, and then you go back and you start there. And then in the end, yes, people are going to vote one side or the other. But let's get the common stuff. Like in Mass right now, huge. Everybody's worried about eventually is home growing going to be excluded, and there's people fighting for that. And then on the other side, you get people like, well, just legalize it. And you're like, well, you got to actually look at the fine print when you're saying just legalize it. And so now you've got people who actually both want the same thing, but they're on the opposite sides because they're not listening to the points that each other have. And I'm like, you're 90% in agreement. Let's focus on that, and then let's go, then you can argue about the last 10%.
Yeah, it's so crazy too, because that's what everyone's fearing that now, is that they're going to come after the home growers again in Massachusetts. Have you seen some of the news stories?
Absolutely. Well, you know how dangerous it is. All the fires that happen.
Right?
Oh yeah, every day.
Carmichael.
Oh my God.
This guy, like,
more people blow up from natural gas than from.
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean,
seriously,
Lord, are you
the natural
me?
Gas lines.
It's just that pretending somehow that for the last 100 years people haven't been home growing.
I know, right?
It's only because it's legal now they're doing it.
That's right.
Like, no, they weren't doing it for 100 years.
Yeah, it's only now it's a problem.
Right.
You ever notice that police chief always wears his uniform? Like, I don't know, it's just funny. Like, you'd think if he was commuting, like, an hour, he might, I don't know, not wear the uniform outside of town, but he's always wearing it.
If there's a camera, he's got the uniform on. There's no doubt about that. I assume he sleeps in it. He just rolls out of bed. Somebody comes to his door. He's got the hat on and everything. But,
they should give him a weed badge, like anti-weed hero or something. Right. He's always the guy. Walpole Police Chief John Carmichael recently did some stories, if you haven't noticed them, that we're talking about the dangers of home growing, starting fires. Now he's a fire chief.
Right. So obviously you got to get rid of your hydroponic tomato gardens, everything else. It's it's not just cannabis, I suppose. It's all gardening.
My toaster
dangerous.
oven. That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, you have a toaster?
I have
crazy?
A toaster oven and 2 microwaves and a stove. Full range. Yeah.
Yeah, you're crazy.
I cook a lot.
Nope.
That's what I'm worried about. It was like burning the house down, cooking like real cookies. Now, I'm not talking about like weed cookies. I'm talking about like Pillsbury,
Yeah, late night, you want them, but you pass out. Oh, you're done.
Yeah.
We got to put an end to that.
A chicken. I roast a lot of chickens. Do you cook a lot?
I don't cook like that anymore, just because we've got the 2 kids at teenage age, and you can't get them to come to the table. But I did in the day.
Is that frustrating? When you cook and they won't come and eat.
Well, you've got 5-6 people in the house. How do you get them all at home
different
at the same
schedules
time?
today too, right? Everyone?
There's 2 or 3 people eating at a time. We do buffet style now, but I do like to cook. I just haven't much. We do cooking competitions in the house during the summer when the kids are off. Everybody has a night, and then we vote and slam each other. It's good stuff.
Go. Yeah. Give them a dig.
Oh yeah. We all hammer Nana. My mother-in-law lives with us. We all team up and don't vote for her because she's good.
I do see one good comment here from Joe Gilmore. Any can supports local, he said. Joseph. He's a good guy.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Absolutely.
I think Joseph has already got tickets, though. I think he's going.
Oh, is he trying to get a refund and get the freebies?
Oh, maybe.
I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
We should reward him for buying early, maybe.
I don't know. Does he? Because he's with MRCC?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're up for a couple of awards this year for the community awards.
I think Joe is actually too, right?
Yep. I think he's in the Young Activist Award.
Yes.
And then they're up probably for diversity business, champions of diversity, and then maybe just business as well.
I think maybe News Source against us too.
Could be.
I don't know, maybe. Or I don't know.
They might, because there really aren't 6 local pure media sites, so a few of the top vote getters from the nominees were just
like
sites
CCC.
that just had information,
Right. Again, we're the Young Jurks. My name is Mike Crawford. I'm the host. We're speaking to Marc from Any Can. We're going to be going to their event. I'm going to read the copy one more time because I don't think I did very well the first time. So we're trying to record a little live commercial here. So you let us know how we're doing. Hi, I'm Mike Crawford, host of the Young Jurks here, and I'm excited to announce that I will be broadcasting live from the 5th Annual New England Cannabis Convention in Boston, March 22nd through 24th. Disrupt Boston is the official media partner of Any Can Boston. We'll be providing wall-to-wall coverage of the show, and the Young Jurks will be the network's feature broadcast of the weekend. I can't wait. See you there, March 22nd and 24th. We're the Young Jurks. I think we're going to take a quick break. I want to thank you so much for coming in, Marc.
Thank you, Mike.
And I want to thank you for providing tickets because we are going to be giving tickets away to Any Can. And I think we'll probably do it by phone call because that's usually the way we do get a lot of calls is when we give away the tickets. I know that. So I think we'll save it for the next week or the following week to give some tickets away.
Sure, you guys could do it every week till the show comes.
Perfect. So stick around. If you want more information on Any Can, definitely check it out. Also, we're going to be there on that Friday. We're going to be there the whole weekend. So come check us out in our booth. We'll be doing some live broadcasting, but come say hi to us. We'll have some free stuff going on. And also come see us at the award show Friday, March 22nd, right?
Yep, and you can buy tickets for that right on the NECAN site, too. There's a link to buy tickets to that award show. Limited space venue that definitely will sell out before the show, so if you want to go, get the tickets. And then one other note, because we don't have email addresses for them, if you're a nominee for that, for any award, just email me at marc@necan.com. We'll give you a free pass as a nominee to get in.
Awesome. I'll be doing that later tonight.
Yeah, you're not on the list yet.
Yeah, I will be. Thank you. Again, we're the Young Jurks, and I want to thank Doobie behind the board. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with Calvin Feliciano and Boston City Councilor Kim Janey. We're going to talk about cannabis and licensing in the city of Boston and maybe some other issues, too, some other questions. If you have any, let us know. We're the Young Jurks. We'll be back in a few minutes on our Facebook Live. Check us out. Thank you, Marc.
Thank you, Michael. Have a great day.